Hi everyone, welcome to our annual Holocaust Assembly. So we kindly request that you have your phones on silent and any jackets or hoodies removed. Additionally, please refrain from clapping or talking to ensure the respect of this assembly. Thank you.
Why the 27th? Well, on the 27th of January 1945, it was the day Auschwitz-Birkenau was liberated by the Soviet Union. This marked the end of Hitler's reign over Nazi Germany. So, that's why we commemorate every 27th of January. Now, we do know today isn't the 27th of January, but due to a busy school calendar, we've had to postpone it. We're now going to watch a short video about the Holocaust.
The Holocaust was the attempt by the Nazis and their collaborators to murder every Jew in Europe. From the time they assumed power in Germany in 1933, the Nazis used propaganda, persecution, and legislation to deny German Jews their human rights and freedoms. They used centuries of anti-Semitism as their foundation. With the outbreak of war in 1939, Germany invaded Poland, subjecting Polish Jews to violence and forced labor. Thousands of Jews were murdered in the first months of the occupation. The Nazis established ghettos, forcing Polish Jews to live in cramped areas with appalling living conditions. And they repeated this approach across Eastern Europe as they occupied other countries. In 1941, the systematic murder of Europe's Jews began. Firing squads swept Eastern Europe and the Soviet Union, murdering all the Jews they found. By the end of 1941, the first extermination camp had been established in Poland, giving the Nazis their method to continue murdering on a giant scale between 1941 and 1945. By the end of the Holocaust, 6 million Jewish men, women, and children had been murdered in ghettos, mass shootings, in concentration camps, and extermination camps. This was an unprecedented era of horror in human history. But people around the world have continued to suffer mass atrocities and genocide from 1945 to today.
In the heart of Amsterdam, a secret annex, a place where hope withstood, hear a young girl's voice echoed through the walls, enjoying every moment until the darkness falls. Anne Frank, a fighter in the shadow of war, her courage shining brighter than before. A girl born in Germany in 1929, during an evil time, her unforgettable diary opened up the secrets of fear, legacy and power. Through the pages she wrote, Anne's voice still rings, inspiring generations to come, a reminder that even in the darkest times hope can win.
We're now going to be listening from the string quartet playing Shalom.
So, what is genocide? Genocide is a deliberate and sometimes systematic act of killing a large group of people with a certain nationality or ethnicity with the intent to harm or destroy them. This term was made partly in response to the Holocaust, which is what led to campaigns to make genocide recognised as an international crime, but also for other reasons such as wars and conflicts.
The Nazis also persecuted and murdered people from a range of different groups, including Roma and Sinti people, LGBTQ communities, black people, Jehovah's Witnesses, political opponents, and more. This simply highlights that the Nazis not only killed Jewish people, but a range of others too. Different groups of people were given different coloured badges in concentration camps. Sewn onto uniforms, the colour-coded badges identified the reason for an individual's incarnation. With some variation among camps, the Nazis used this chart illustrating prison markings in the Dachau concentration camps.
The Rwandan, Cambodian, Bosnian and Darfur genocides are just some examples. The Rwandan genocide happened for just 100 days between the 7th of April to the 19th of July 1994. It was a genocide between the Tutsi and Hutu during the Rwandan Civil War. The Cambodian genocide happened in what is now Cambodia, or the Democratic Kampuchea, from the 17th of April 1975 to the 7th of January 1979, by the Khmer Rouge under their leader Pol Pot. The Bosnian genocide took place in the Bosnian War between 1992 and 1995. The Darfur genocide was the killing of Darfuri people during the Darfur War between 2003 to 2005, led by the ICC to indict crimes against humanity.
All of this links in with the UNCRC and human rights. Even though these rights were officially established after the Holocaust and World War II, we have to remember they were still broken. Rights like Article 2, no discrimination, 8, right to identity, 37, children in detention, and 38, protection from war, were broken. Even after the Holocaust is over, these rights are still being broken today by various genocides across the world.
Now we're going to hear God Bless Us Everyone by the choir.
Compassion,
The Holocaust liberation occurred when Allied forces, primarily Soviet, American, and British troops, freed those in concentration camps during the final months of World War II. These liberations exposed the horrific conditions and mass murders that took place in these camps, with the most notable being the liberation of Auschwitz, the largest Nazi concentration camp where over 1 million people, mostly Jews, were murdered. This occurred on the 27th of January 1945, when Soviet forces advanced through Poland and freed approximately 7,000 prisoners. With it being 80 years since then, it's important that we still continue to remember the millions of innocent lives that were lost during the Holocaust, so that history does not repeat itself. We are now going to watch a video about another camp's liberation, Bergen-Belsen.
The Bosnian genocide was the systematic campaign of violence and ethnic cleansing carried out by Bosnian Serb forces against Muslims during the Bosnian War, which took place from 1992 to 1995. The genocide included mass killings, sexual violence, forced displacement, and the destruction of cultural and religious sites. One of the most notorious events was the Srebrenica massacre in July 1995, where over 8,000 Bosnian men and boys were killed. 30 years later, we remember those who lost their lives in the genocide and hope to never allow such atrocities again.
You know, we were attacked because we were Muslims because it was a Serb plan to claim this part of the country for themselves. So in that sense, what happened here was not personal. People who targeted me from the above. On the other hand, it was so personal when it came to the people who attacked us, because I recognized many soldiers. And then of course neighbors came from behind the hedge.
The theme for this year's assembly is For a Better Future. During the Holocaust, many different groups and communities were persecuted by the Nazis, including people of Jewish faith, black people in Germany, gay men, bisexual men, Jehovah's Witnesses, people with disabilities, Poles, political opponents and dissenters in Germany, and Soviet prisoners of war. Many of these groups still receive negative treatment to this day, albeit not on the same level as it would have been during the Holocaust. We, however, should learn from the past and look to change the future to one in which no one should be judged by their sexuality, race or religion. Anti-Semitism and anti-Muslim activities are increasing in the UK, and we as individuals need to look to support people being persecuted because of their race, religion or sexuality, and look to support them so our society becomes an inclusive environment for all.
Let's talk about what actually happens on Holocaust Memorial Day. Each year, across the UK, we try to bring everybody together to learn about the past and empathise with people today, especially the veterans and heroes who fought in those conflicts. And we can't forget the people who survived those devastating events. Most Jewish people do memorial services, communal vigils, and educational programmes. As a young person, you can also get involved in Holocaust Memorial Day too, by taking part in school projects, attending memorial assemblies, or services, and sharing and posting positive content on your social media. This year, I urge all of you to get involved in any way you can.
Why do we remember? Sure, it was a major tragedy and a monumental moment in history, but how does the Holocaust impact you, a young person 80 years later? Well, first of all, many genocides have happened since the Holocaust, in spite of what that taught us. And even in 2025, there are still ongoing genocides as we speak, such as the situations in Gaza and South Sudan. It's incredibly easy to distance yourself from such events and treat them as foreign issues that you are in no way related to. Things that are altogether alien, that you have zero power over, that will never happen to you. But the truth is, genocide impacts everyday people, just like you and I. It's started by people like us too. Great evil figures were not born that way. They were children once, with family and friends. They went to school. Now, I am in no way saying that anybody in this room is a genicist, but what I am saying is that even as ordinary people, our choices matter. We have the power to mould and shape our society as we please, whether it be through obvious acts of activism, like voting or petitioning, or something like insulting somebody or complimenting another. Little things that make a difference. You can choose to do good or do bad, to hate or to love, although far many people choose prejudice, the act of having an opinion of somebody before you even interact with them. And we behave based on that prejudice. This is what happened during the Holocaust. However, with a little bit of respect and understanding, we can break the barriers of prejudice and hate. To answer the initial query, we remember the Holocaust not only to recall the loss, but also to learn from our mistakes. To learn that if we were all more accepting and kind, the world would be a far better place, and that starts with you. We're now going to watch a short video about the power of your voice.
My voice can.
My voice can.
Hurricane.
My voice can.
My voice can transform.
Transform?
Transform! Like before your very ears.
My voice is as big as my imagination.
Our voice has travelled through generations.
My voice can make you feel
My voice demands to be heard.
My voice comes to you through poetry, orality, passionately, because words are
Free.
My voice speaks for my family whose voices were silenced.
It's not always easy, but I try to use my voice to speak out against hatred.
Use your voice.
Your voice.
Your voice.
To speak out
against injustice,
humiliation, and hatred.
We are now going to finish up our assembly with the lighting of 6 candles, with every candle representing 1 million Jewish people who were murdered during the Holocaust. During this time, we ask you to reflect on what you have heard today. It is important we continue to remember so the past never repeats itself.